What's up? What's up? Welcome back to another fabulous show. We've been away for a minute because we need breaks.
Yes.
We've had you think to look good away. I went on tour for a few weeks.
Yes, Mariah Carey Jr. did.
I mean, yeah. We always need a moment.
You do.
Well, first I want to say to everyone, thanks for coming to my home and
Yeah.
allowing me to host this week's segment of the Arizona Black Gay Man.
Yes.
Okay, again, just real quick, I am Dapper D. You can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Snapchat, DAPPERDEE.
You can catch all of that information.
Catch all the things. And let's get into it.
Yes.
What do we have for on the agenda for tonight?
Yes. This is where I sit.
Yeah.
I have about 4 questions. The first question is, when is it okay to leave a friendship or a relationship? The second question that I have is, do you agree with the statement, you have to quit expecting you out of other people? The third question I have is, what are your views on mental health within the Black community? And the last question, do you think trauma leads to risky sexual behavior?
Let's start with that one.
That is
a good one.
That is nasty.
That's a
That's
good
really
one.
nasty.
Yeah.
So we're gonna jump in.
Well, listen, I think that trauma plays a huge part in our life overall. Doesn't matter if it's like our day-to-day life, our sexual life, our friendships, our family dynamics with each other.
Yeah, both of your parents, right?
Yeah.
Just somebody who's coming from a single family home, like you have more of an expectation, just say of my mother. Like when I was little, like, you know, I was into church and all that stuff, and I'm like, why don't you talk to such and such? Or, you know, like these are, like you say, the perfect man. Like, why don't you talk to him? Then I realized, like, my mother had her own path. And not saying it followed her, but it did. So she had the type of guys that she wants. And I don't think it like really more like a trauma to me or anything, but it just made me want to, I seen what she did and I just want to do better. Just like, you know, as a father, like if you see your father as like a father that's not in the picture, you when you have kids, you want to be the best father figure. So,
But to piggyback on the question itself, I do see a lot of things that I do now which contribute to my childhood, especially when it comes to sex. Yeah, I see a lot of things that happen. I wasn't molested or anything, nothing like sinister like that. But there are things that I try to cope with that I haven't dealt with yet because I don't want to at this point. I do deal with by having sex.
I mean, that is a relief. When you're having sex, that is a relief exercise, and it's a good exercise.
But at the same time, for me, I use it as a coping mechanism. When I think about
and
it.
also it's not even about family, it can be friends. I'm sorry. I'm like,
He's
Right,
trying to
no.
use his deep voice, but he
no,
can't
I'm
do
not
it.
trying to use my deep voice, like my throat is like really dry. But
That's the deep.
no, but it can be friends too. Like I seen friends, you know, who consider other people their brother and sister or whatever. And that friend probably fucked with their boyfriend or did something to that person to make them do it to everybody else now. You know what I mean? Like,
So you saying like if me and you were friends and
I
I
fucked,
fucked you over,
yeah.
you want anybody you encounter, you feel like you want to fuck them over because somebody
Yeah.
else fucked you over. Okay.
Well, that actually kind of happened to me. Well, okay, I don't know if everybody knows, but I was engaged before in my 20s. But that was like my first boyfriend right out of high school. That was like, well, we went to high school together, but that's like my boyfriend. So my cousin, who was like my first cousin I came out to, she's a female. So I came out to her and I brought him over to show, let them meet and accept like, hey, y'all, I want y'all to meet because this is my close cousin I came out to, this is my boyfriend. We engaged, we about to run off and go get engaged. So months come by, I did not know it, they exchanged numbers. while I stepped away in the house.
See, that's why you can't
When the
trust,
first
you
meeting.
can't trust
You
nobody.
can't trust
Right?
nobody.
Like, if I can step out, bitch, you coming out with me. Not calling my man a bitch, but like, you coming outside with me.
Well, I mean, that, well, no, let me take it back, take it back.
But, okay, so then, okay, go. I'm gonna remember it. Just
Because at my age of 20, I did not know much about LGBT. I did not know about dating a male. I did not know the language, the positions and all that. I just know I fell in love with him.
Yes.
Sexual behavior. So this is something that I want to ask because I'm dealing with this situation and I really hold it personal to my heart because I do. And it's the question that when is it okay to leave a friendship or relationship, because I'm not in a relationship, but I do have people that I've been friends with for an ample amount of years that I feel that since I moved to Arizona, I experienced traumatic episodes, and I won't say traumatic, but it is, because losing a loved one, that's traumatic, but I feel that I gave myself to them when they were in need, and now that I feel like I'm in need, because I mean, it's been 6 months. And I moved here a month before it happened. So it's like, you would think that people you've been connected to, let me shut my book, because we're gonna get real tonight.
I think that oftentimes what we do as people is expect them to handle situations the way we would handle situations. And we can't put that on other people.
I don't agree.
That's fine. That's fine. But I think that we have to look at things in a very nuanced way. I had an incident a few weeks ago where I was involved with a friend, still a friend, good friend to this day, that I was blocked he blocked me. Because he wanted me to handle a situation the way he would handle a situation. And I have to tell him, I'm like, listen, whatever you're going through, it's not my business. With a mutual friend, that's not my business. He wanted me to create a space for them to get together, to kind of mend their friendship. I'm like, but that's nothing to do with me. You told me the situation, what was going on.
He wanted you to be the peacemaker.
Exactly. And I went back, I had a conversation with the other friend and him, and I went back. I just can't tell someone, oh, you should have done this, or expect them to do this, because that's what I would do. Sometimes you have to meet people where they are.
Right,
Yeah.
but when do you say it's enough of meeting people when
That's when
you are overly extending yourself to,
When you realize when you have to pull back.
yeah, like, wait a minute.
At that point, that's when you have to know who are you as a person, the other person, to see, oh, well, I see what kind of person you are. I can't extend myself as much to you, because you're not able to give me that same courtesy.
But it doesn't mean we're not, it just means that you're not a core friend. Like, I realize that I think friendship comes in different degrees.
Yeah.
I believe that there's like 3 sets of friends. There's that friend that you can tell everything to. There's that friend that you're going to limit yourself with what you tell to. And then there's the friend that you solely kick it with, and that's it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But that's the energy that you have to put into
Right, but I guess my thing is, because if the roles were reversed,
you would want them to do free.
no, because what I'm
Because they would have checked you on the situation, like
exactly, or me just being an individual to know that, like, I've been connected with my friend. I feel like, okay, and I hate to bring this situation to filming, but it's just something that's dear to my heart and something that I deal with every day. You know, I moved here in August. It was supposed to be the greatest thing in my life. I've been planning this move for 3 years, and I finally did. I stepped out on faith. I didn't, like most people do, they save up thousands of dollars to move. I had money in the bank, but what I had in the bank is what I planned to move with. And I did that, and I made the shit happen. I sold everything because I didn't want them to remind me. So I'm here, getting my life together, and boom. There just go, you gotta come back because your grandma about to pass away. So, I mean, we're friends. We're friends. We're best friends. And no one shows up to my grandmother's funeral, but when your grandmother passed away, I was there for that. Your grandmother, you were in feelings about your grandmother. I had a balloon release. This is in Indiana. You know, just because that's me. And what I mean as a friend, like, I'm overly extending myself, and when I don't get it back, then it makes me feel like, I don't know if it necessarily means the friendship's over, but everything is like on the table right now. And it's like, I am very much like exposing every relationship and what it is, and whether it's good or bad. And I'm not saying that I'm the most perfect friend. I'm not saying that, but I am.
Have you gone to these people and said, this is how I feel about the situation?
Do you think I would really bring it up today if I haven't? So that's why I'm not trying to get smart. I'm not trying to get smart.
Oh, no, I know that, honey. No,
I promise. But no, I just, like, I've tried. I've even said, like, hey guys, I feel like I'm going through something. I feel like this death of my grandmother has taken a toll on me. I need my friends. I can't really tell you.
Have you told them what
have.
you need from them?
Not in detail, but pretty much I said I need you guys to like call.
That's context clues. You need to be upfront. This is what I need from you. Are you able to do that for me as a friend?
But my question is, I can't keep on really going back and forth with why I feel.
No. That's my question is, have you told these people this is what I need from you right now?
In so many
as a
words,
friend?
yes.
No, not in so many words.
Yes,
Did
I
you
have.
say that?
Yes.
Not in so many words.
Not that this is what I need from you, but I've been very direct about what my requirements are for our friendship.
Okay, that's people.
And I wouldn't say that you don't need to know when to cut them off. It's just when you need to know that you have stepped up into an adult and they are still not thinking as an adult. I have done the same thing every time I go back home. Everybody's way of thinking at home is different from mine in here. So that's why I'm like, okay, I need to go back home. Even when I fly in that Friday or that week, that Wednesday, that day, I'd be like, okay, yeah, I see what you're doing right now, and I think I need to just go back home because I miss my bed, I miss my train of thought, and I miss my hustle. So if you're staying right here complaining after small things, and I have bigger things to do where I'm worried about my job and I'm worried about my clients, everything else, I'm worried about the next month. I'm not worried about right now small issues that could be solved where you can just write it down and pinpoint puzzle you the missing problem. It's just you have to know when you know
when you have enough.
Like what you told me with work, it was like you can't be the translator for your department.
Yeah,
even though like everybody's telling me everything and I'm just taking everything in, and it's like it's pissing me off. It's like, so when I express how I feel about something and I say, oh, well, suddenly, other people feel this way too. Nobody is, in my corner or saying or speaking up. They, or saying they feel that way too.
Yeah.
And, you have to, in everyday life, you have to stop. You have friends that are going to push you for you to speak up on their behalf. To where you have to now realize, I'm going to stop speaking on other people's behalf and I'm going to speak for myself.
Yeah, let me put this cup down because I don't want to die out no friends. What are your views on mental health within the Black community?
Well, first of all, I think that Black people need to can't pray things away. Or just pray about it. What the hell that's gonna do?
I haven't heard that saying in a long time.
I have.
If you talk to a person of a certain generation,
It's come back to truth.
No, I think that's more of an older generation, like pray about it, pray on it, or whatever.
but it's also been filtered down through generation.
Yeah.
Like no shade or no whatever on people that have religion in their life. Like I don't look down on that. It's just not my thing. I try to be very realistic about it. Like my mother is huge with religion. She's not one that like forces it down your throat. Not that kind of person. But it's also, we're gonna pray about it and blah blah blah. And I'm like, all right, you can pray about it, but what are you actually doing to make it happen, like realistically?
I think God gives us the tools to make things happen. Just because we serve Him, that doesn't mean that it's going to happen. He put people in position and places for it to happen. Like, I think for mental health, I think our biggest thing is that we need to unlearn what we learned, because everything that we learned from grandma and grandpa, it's not right. It's not, and
But I think also as growing up, like you need to realize, do my own homework, and grandma said this way is the best way. Well, actually, it's not. You working harder, not smarter. And I think it's more of realizing that those things doesn't work in your lifestyle or in this time. It probably worked in their time, but this time it doesn't work.
I just think as Black people, we are conditioned to think, or we are as a whole, we are trained, or we have this thing as it relates to mental health that if things are so overwhelming you, like they said, just give it to God, but it's beyond that, because I think we're trained to say, like, first of all, we're trained to say this as a kid, whatever happens in our home stays in our home. And who's to say whatever was going on in their home is right? But because I can't say nothing, I have to deal with that. And then that's kind of like my mom and father, like my mom and dad, whatever trauma they were experiencing from their parents and into their adulthood, it became my trauma when I was just an innocent little boy. You know, I can't make what my mom did wrong or what my dad did wrong or what they did right. That's not my story to tell. I can agree with some things that they taught, but I just think that we're taught to think that if life is overwhelming for you and you don't have any other outlet, we're taught to say that if you did seek help, which I think people should, I totally agree with therapy, I do.
Yeah.
But I think that we're taught that if you get help, you're crazy.
It's frowned upon.
Or you're crazy. Like, oh, you going to see this person for your mind.
But like you said, it's a learned behavior, because back then, what happened was after slavery, there was no therapy for our ancestors after that. So they just had to cope with it and move on and live their best life. So it's a learned pattern behavior.
That's what they always reparations now.
We can get into that.
It's a repeating recovery.
Yeah.
Right, and that's when you gotta
was
make up
never
in your
fixed.
mind
It
and
was-
say, okay, like, for me, like, what my mom did, what my dad did, I experienced things which we're not going to bring on camera, but I know things happened to me in my life that, I was forced to grow up at an early age, because I was like you said, I come from a single parent home, a mother with 4 kids that did her best while our fathers were doing whatever the fuck they wanted to do. I don't hold it to them, but to a certain extent I do, because that kind of created who I am as a person. But I think that when they're like, oh, you crazy for trying to get help. No. What makes me crazy is that I know something's wrong. I know something is overwhelming, and I choose to just, oh God, go see me through. Oh Lord, no. I love the Lord, I do. I love the Lord every day. I pray to God and I tell him thank you for another day. Or just thank you for letting me be in my right mind, because I do feel.
Well, how about using God as a source, or God made the doctors, so I can go talk to them?
Exactly, there we go.
Right. True that. Because there's been a time where, this person would always ask for advice, but you'll give this advice like, oh no, that's not gonna do it. That's not gonna work. That's not. Ooh. It's like, okay, so now it's like, this person asking for advice, or asking like, what do you think about it? It's like, well, I don't know what to think about it, because honestly, that's your business. Because I learned if I keep giving my advice or my opinion on stuff, it's just gonna get swept under the rug.
Whatever time it is in the world you're in, have a great day.
Have a great
Take
week.
a little time to enjoy the view.
Yes.